Rani. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss graphics programming in Java for topic, that is how to get the input from the user. Now, how to get the input, that means what? If user want to enter some data, a dynamic content on a web application, that time we can do it in an Applet application. For this, as you know, Applet programming provides us a graphical environment. Now in graphical environment, how we get the input? For getting the input, first we should have some area. As a user, we should have some area where user can add that data. That means enter the data. If user want to edit data, user can edit it or user can manipulate the operation on it. Let's we discuss how we can do it. For as I said it that applet should get it some area on a applet. For that, first we have to create that area on a screen where user can type the data or edit the data. While editing this data or typing this data, by default this data or a input we get it in a text format, and whatever data we want, we have to convert that data into the text format. We are going to discuss that how we can do it. Yes. For creating this area in an applet, we get it one class called as text field class. Yes, and this text field class we get it in a Java applet package. Once you create the text field class object in a web applet programming, then user can enter the input in this text field object where, and if we want, we can edit it. Yes, if necessary. As I said it, text field is by default whatever data is containing, that we get it in a string format, and when we want to perform some operations or computations on it, first we need to convert that into the right form. Yes, and once we perform that operations, again that whatever results may generate, that again we have to convert it back to the string format. Now what is the need for this? Because as I said, applet treats all the input or the output in a text format. How we can create the text field object in applet, and how to manipulate the operation on it, and how to display the result. We have a look by using the example, by discussing the example. Yes, it's a regular practice that if it's an applet program, then we have to import the applet package as well as the AWT package. Then I have created here class called as the user in class by extending the applet class. Please note this point here. For creating the object, you have to create the text. You have to use the text field class. By using this text field class, I have created here two objects called as text1 and text2. Text field is almost similar to text box. You must have knowing what is text box, where user can enter the data. That means we get it the area where the user can enter it. Yes, and when the applet is going to load, by default it should create something that we can create define in a init method of applet while initializing the applet. Yes. So while initializing the object, whatever text field object we have created, we have to create the particular location format. So text1, we created the text field 1 and text field 2. Yes, while creating this text box, text field class, here you have to mention here size of that text field. How much size you require to enter the data on a screen. That size you have to put it while creating the text box here. Then that text box we have to add it into the applet. How to add it? For that we get it the method called as add. So whatever object we have created for text box, that we are added by using add method. While using the text field object, if you want to set some default value to the text box, then you get it the method called as set text method. This method helps to put by default value on it. That means when we run the applet, that time by default you will show the 0 value in that text box. This is all about the initialization, how to create the text field on a in applet. Once we created the applet, then What things we should do in a pen method? Pen method here, for manipulating here, I am going to read two numbers from the user and displaying the addition, that is the sum of that two number, in a screen. For this I have taken here three variables, x, y, z variable. X is reading the number 1, y reading the number 2, and z is showing the summation of that two numbers. Then, as we have seen that all the inputs for the applet in a text field, it take the string by default. For this we have taken the three string s1, s2, s3. Now to get it the display message that user has to enter some value, we have drawn the draw string method that user has to enter some value in a text box. Now when we are performing the some operations in an applet, we should use the exception handling. How to use the exception handling, that we have already covered in an exception handling video. Yes, as you know, in a try and catch block you have to perform that operations. In try block, I am going to read the data, whatever data we want to read it from the user. For reading the data, I use it here get text method. This get text method is held to receive the input from the user. That means read the string from the text box. Yes, that I have stored in a s1 string, and that string, but while performing the operations it will not be, as we have already discussed that while performing the operations we have to convert that into the right format. So I have to convert that into the integer format. How to convert the string into integer, hope all of you are already knowing. By using the integer class and parsing method we can convert it. Similarly, from the text box 2 I have read the data, that again read the data in a string format that we have to convert into the integer format. That means in x and y we get it the number 1 and number 2. Yes, then once you get it the number 1 and number 2 format, that is x and y value, you have to perform the operations, that is the additions we are going to store in a z variable. Yes, and now once you get it the addition of that number, the next task is you have to display that on a screen. But as we have discussed that while displaying the information on a screen, again that you have to convert into the string format. So I am going to convert that into the string format here. How to convert it? String dot value of method. This value of method is held to convert the data integer to string. Yes, and then we have draw that with the help of draw string method we have display that at an appropriate location. Yes. Now here one more thing we are going to discuss about the action method here. This is again important method. Yes, once you enter the input to the text box, next task is you have to perform some operations. How you can perform it? If I press the enter button, then the appropriate result should be displayed. That means that is my action. And how to perform this method? By using the action method. Action method is returning the value of boolean type. That means true or false. That particular action is happened or not, it will return it. And the parameters is event and object class. Here we are going to only repend the method. Now what is the use of this repend method? Repend method is simply refresh the page. It's almost similar to like we refresh the particular web page. Yes, that means it will repend this pend method. Whatever pend method we have defined in that applet, it simply repend it again and return the true value. If we execute this program, the output is going to generate like this. Yes, that means we get it the two area on a screen where we can enter the data. For example, x value I entered it 123 and second value 213, and the summation of that is display here 338. This is all about how to read the data from the user in an applet programming. In next video, we are going to discuss the introduction to AWT. Thank you.